Oh my God, broads, we are back in Bachelor action, okay?
Everyone breathe a collective sigh of relief.
Oh, it's back. Is it the original? No. But you know what? I enjoyed it.
I like it.
I really like it. Like, is it really, are there insane cringe cheese moments because of all the music? Yes, and I love that. I'm so into it.
It is a whole new layer with which I can judge people.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfection.
It's fantastic. And I don't feel bad about it.
That's the thing. Listen, we've been in lockdown for like a month and a half now. We're getting, you get a little salty. And now I'm like, this is exactly what my salt needed. I needed to put my saltiness on something. And now I get to put it on the High School Musical version of ABC's The Bachelor.
I also like that. That's hilarious because we'll get into it, how obsessed they are with making this in A Star Is Born. But High School Musical is much more accurate. I also like that it feels like The Bachelor.
Yes.
I didn't know what to expect in terms of that, but it feels very like true to the Bachelor franchise.
Yeah, I was a little worried that it was going to feel completely separated from it. And then I was going to be kind of like, well, I don't know if I can really get into it because I don't feel warm and cozy. I want to say, in this moment of uncertainty in our lives with everything going on, there is really something, as much as we can hate on Big Papa Chris Harrison sometimes, there's something that was a little bit comforting to me to see the mansion, to see Chris Harrison giving out roses. I was like, oh, this is kind of nice.
Well, did you catch that it's a different mansion?
Well,
it's a resort.
Yes. And I was...
it looks like a freaking resort.
I was confused at first because I was like, I was pretty sure that they said it was going to take place in the same mansion. And for a second, it looks like that, right? It kind of has the same lights and colors to it. And then I'm like, whoa. Unless we really didn't see a lot of wings in the Bachelor Mansion, this place is gigantic.
No, it's huge. Also, I really like that the cast is fresh. Like, inevitably, obviously you have the Bachelor, the Bachelorette lead on every season who's from prior season. And inevitably in stuff like Paradise, even if it's never just the previous cast, like it's always someone from like 5 years ago. There's always history getting like trolled along. And this is like a clean freaking slate.
Clean slate. And I like how everyone's in like a different genre and dresses differently. It's not just like, oh, here's the Bachelor with the classic Bachelorette girls, and then maybe there's one kind of alt girl. Everyone's different. It's fun. It's super fun. And
I think it's fun too.
I loved it. And I was so glad that I really liked it because I'm super excited to do these recaps now.
Me too. I know everyone is hating. I mean, granted, the preview I just couldn't tell what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
But now I have like a better understanding of the structure. I've got a vibe for it. Mm-hmm. And I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm stoked on that. But did you want to take just a little pause to sort of, just for any new listeners, kind of acknowledge like where we're at and where we're all at in the world right now?
I think that that's a really good idea. I'm sure, some people weren't following along while we've been recapping Love is Blind, which has been really fun. But I think a lot of our Bachelor listeners have taken a pause. So if you're back on board now, we just want to say, Bekah and I mean, we've both been... California's been self quarantined for since like March 18th or something. So
I think we had a stay-at-home order almost a month ago.
Yeah. So we have been doing this remotely. So right now Bekah and I are chatting via Skype. And there's not a lot to say. I mean, I've kind of every day when I'm reading the news, like I feel a little bit in shock. I know that we just a few days ago passed the number of deaths in Italy. And we just want to say that to everyone out there, especially our essential worker broads, we have the utmost gratitude for all of you, our healthcare workers. I mean, all the essential workers right now. We are so grateful for you.
Yeah, from restaurants to Postmates drivers to first responders, all of you.
Mm-hmm. And as we, thank you so much. And as we, go get into all these recaps together, we just want you to know that we definitely are not wanting to ignore what's going on in the world, but we hope that we can just be, a few hours in your week to just take a deep breath, try to laugh, try to just get your mind off of things, and just be a Broad Squad family together, and have some semblance of, normalcy, and continue to do that for all of you as we're going through something that is very strange and horrible, so anywho, we love all of you and we're grateful for all of you. And yeah,
and if you guys have any ideas for guests or topics to cover in the next few weeks, as we've been on sort of a reality TV coverage binge, but I did just want to note that some of our more, quote, normal content or non-reality TV content will start to come out in the next few weeks once we're done with Love is Blind. And then the second episode of the week will probably be some non-reality TV content. Mm-hmm. And so if anybody has any ideas for that, also like related to just kind of everything that's happening right now with COVID-19, or I know some people were saying that we should have my midwife on, talking about like birthing options for people.
Oh, that would be great.
Just kind of like some related stuff that people might be interested in. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, please.
Slide in the DMs.
Slide in the DMs. But yeah, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that. And
yeah, and please do your part too and stay in. I know there's some states that still don't have stay-at-home order, and if you can do that, it really will help.
It will really, really help. So stay in, stay safe. And I mean, stay sane. And I don't know about you, B, but officially as of like a few days ago, LA just got the news that we have hard stay-at-home orders until now, May 18th. I think they were extended. It's probably going to be at least until the 1st of June that we're, going to be still here. So
yeah, at least.
Broads, we're not going anywhere because here we are stuck in our homes. We will continue to podcast. This cannot take us down. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is that I do have a mullet that is growing out of control now.
Oh no. Get on those YouTube tutorials.
The mullet is starting to grow down my back. I'm looking a little bit like a hockey player. I don't know what I'm going to do if we're stuck in for that many more months, because God knows I don't trust Evan with these scissors in my hair, and I don't know how this is going to grow out. So,
well, do you have one of those? Do you have clippers?
I do.
'Cause that's what I would used to do when I had a pixie. I would have someone just take the very long clippers and just graze.
Oh, gosh.
Just graze the bash. Not too much. Go long. But I hate that stage. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, my mullet is just so... I already had a mullet and now it's like so long. But I'm thinking maybe that I can just continue to grow it out and our YouTube viewers can just see me like a chia pet. Start to like over the next few weeks just like grow longer in front of my face and like down the back.
I think you could do the front. I trust you. I think you could do it. I also just wanted to say like a random thing I've been grateful for is I saw someone's post the other day and they're like, what a beautiful time to not have a child or something like that, which was pretty funny to me. But I was also like, I know, I mean, granted, this is us being able to live in a 1,000 square foot house with only one child. And my heart goes out to those of you out there who have like 3 or 4 kids of varying ages, like in a small apartment, trying to stay indoors. So I don't want to like act like it's just all peachy everywhere for parents. But I did want to say I felt grateful because on the flip side, I've realized that having a child has provided me with so much normalcy and stability in terms of schedule. Yes. Like the fact that I actually have to get out of bed in the morning and that like she has to have a nap at a certain time.
Yes.
And all that kind of thing has provided so much like routine that I think I would be really kind of losing my mind without.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talk to me yesterday. I would have agreed with you today. This morning, I don't feel that way. It's a little day to day. The Botox is wearing off. The grays are coming in. But I definitely feel you. My heart goes out to everyone right now, because I feel like everyone has some sort of different situation that does make this challenging, whether they're having to go to work, whether they're alone at home having to stay in, whether they're crammed in a small place, whether there's just so much going on. It's just, well, we do have official news about The Bachelorette that has now come out via Reality Steve. We have news.
Yes.
And by the way, this is not a spoiler. It's just dates. So apparently we will be getting The Bachelorette at the start of September. So they're going to start filming. I do not think we will be getting Bachelor in Paradise this year. I think probably Now Listen to Your Heart is going to be, its replacement, I guess.
The Paradise, yeah.
But the crazy thing is that the season is going to be, because of what's going on, they are going to be renting out a resort in its entirety and filming the entire Bachelorette season in this hotel.
I kind of love it.
It's kind of amazing. It's gonna change everything. It's gonna be so fresh.
Well, looking at Love is Blind too, you can find a resort that is going to look like 6 different places depending on where you're at there.
Right.
So it's like you could really spice it up.
Right. But there's going to be no hometowns, which is weird. They're never going to leave. And I saw someone
do you think they're going to video chat with people's families?
They have to, right? They're going to want to meet people.
That is crazy.
It's going to be crazy. And I saw someone say this and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about this. They were like, imagine how dramatic this season is going to be, because producers are going to know that they can't change location. So they are going to be prodding people like crazy. Everyone's stuck in the same location the entire time. Drama is going to be rampant.
That in and of itself is just going to be nuts. I wonder if they'll be moving them around the resort. I also wonder, so what do? Do you test every single one of the crew members and the cast?
Yes, they're all going to get tested.
But then it's also nuts, because then what? Are they going to fly out the cast and then quarantine them for 2 weeks and test them? They're going to be on planes.
I think that's what's going to happen.
It's absurd. I'm so fascinated to see how it plays out.
This is going to be so wild.
It's absurd.
There are so many things going on right now that are so trippy. I know that they're moving. Baseball is going to be now located in Arizona, and they're going to have them all the baseball players who are willing to participate now are going to be quarantined in Arizona, play the games. But it's going to be filmed. Obviously, no one in the stands.
The show must go on, baby.
UFC just bought an island, and they're calling it Fight Island. And they're going to have all...
That's sick.
It's crazy, dude. And who knows? Are they going to drop the fighters in from helicopters? And it's going to be what a trip. This is a whole... And they said, this is going to be going on now. It's going to be for probably a long time that we're going to have to do adjust things like that, because large crowds are not going to be able to be together for a long time. So we're just, we are in a generation right now that is experiencing a whole shift, and this is going to be bizarre. And The Bachelorette is not excluded. This is going to be a whole different feel to this season. It's going to be bizarre.
Fascinating. And then also, did you want to real quickly cover, I didn't listen to it, but you listened to Peter's interview on the Vial Files.
Yeah, so I listened to most of the interview with Peter and Nick. I heard afterwards, and I haven't had the opportunity because Ember, but I've heard that Bachelor Happy Hour is a more dramatic interview because Rachel goes in hard. And then also Almost Famous interviewed Kelly, and there were some weird
but
things
also
about that.
How many hours can you listen to?
That's my thing.
Peter being interviewed.
We're trying to watch recap Love is Blind, all this reality TV. I'm I can't, with the kid, I can only do so much. And also for my brain. So with the interview with Peter and Nick, basically the main points were, he is not dating Kelly. I know, right? They're not dating. He says that it could always happen in the future, but basically he saw her again a few months after he was filming, and they just have this connection. And so then he went to go. He's like good friends with.
So what? Like Hannah and Tyler aren't dating too? Like,
I know. I'm like, are we gonna get that? Bullshit? Are we gonna get that news soon? I don't understand. But Dustin from Hannah's season, I guess him and Peter are really good friends, and him and Kelly are good friends. So he's right now quarantined with Dustin and Kelly. The three of them are together, and it definitely like. He made it sound like there's definitely a potential that Kelly and I could eventually date, which makes me think like they're for sure hooking up in quarantine, but they're not committing. That's the gist that I get. And yeah, I don't, who knows?
Such bullshit. I'm still mad that like these people Peter is in LA and the fucking stay at home order was in effect when he decided to go quarantine with these other people. Like, come on,
Peter. Also, he was talking about.
But that's interesting.
He brought up the Hannah Brown conversation where when Hannah Ann said like, oh, he was trying to process the Hannah Brown thing. Apparently, him and Hannah Ann were in the middle of a happy couple getaway, and Peter had received the screeners, a few months ahead, and he happened to get that episode with him and Hannah Brown in it. And Hannah Brown was given that episode too. And so I guess she slid into his DMs and was kind of like, did you see it? That was hard to watch, whatever. I think wanting to just be like, yo, she was kind of like, do I look okay? I'm kind of tripping out. Like she was tripping out about it, whatever. Slid into his DMs. He happened to be with Hannah Ann when Hannah Brown slid into the DMs. So, of course, it started a conversation. And Peter then, he opened up to Hannah Ann and was honest with her and said, Hannah Brown slid into my DMs, and I am kind of processing it because that was really hard to watch. Okay. So that was all. And then as far as the Maddie piece, he said he's said like staunchly, Maddie and I, that was not for show. That was not like a whole fake thing for TV. We definitely were talking. We just hadn't actually seen each other face to face until we were in front of After the Final Rose. She went back to be with her family for a little bit in her hotel room to process it, because obviously that was intense. And then they didn't do any press because they spent the whole next day in a hotel room together just talking and processing, and kind of were just like
Peter.
Yeah, and kind of just in person we're like, yo, this is not, we really care about each other, but like he said they had conversations that they should have had on the show, finally, in person, sitting alone in a hotel room. And it was kind of like, we're attracted to each other. We really like each other, but this isn't going to work long run. And then like parted ways. And then he talked about Barb and, basically defended his mother and was like,
yeah, of course.
Did she go about it wrong? Yes. He's like, but I stand by the fact that Barb, he's like, it is a mother's love that she didn't care what she looked like on television, and she thought that I was making the wrong decision, and she didn't care that it was in front of millions of people. She was going to say what she wanted to say.
She's a savage. Dude, I mean, what are you going to say? She's a savage.
Oh my God, Barb. But yeah, so there wasn't the tea was not piping hot. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I'm freaking stoked to get into this this new shit. I'm ready.
Let's
leave the past behind us.
Let's leave the past behind us. I'm ready to talk about Sheridan. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I like this show. I really like this show. I'm not going to say love yet. I'm going to wait because, the first episode's juicy. 3 or 4 might get a little, but I like the structure because I don't think it's going to get boring because it's like Paradise, but it's also not as convoluted as Paradise is. Yes. And no one knows each other, and there's not this like little side shit like we've been seeing the past couple years.
Yes.
And so, but it's also not trashy like Bachelor Pad was.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
I love it.
It's like, I like it a lot. Okay. But
all right. But before
we get in,
before we talk,
oh my gosh,
Sheridan,
this is perfect.
I know.
This is perfect because this brand I always get a lot of questions on for their lube, but they have other products too.
I know.
Are fantastic.
Girl. Okay. Here's the deal. I have a serious question for all you broads. Does anyone actually remember the last time you got a really good night's sleep recently? I'm talking full 8 hours, fell asleep in minutes, woke up feeling rested. Good night's sleep. If I had to guess, I would say most of you are shaking your heads no right now. I get it. Life is weird at the moment. So restful sleep isn't exactly a given. And that's why I've turned to a brand we already know and love, like Bekah was saying, but they have a product that is helping me get better sleep than I ever have before. It's from Omax Health. Tell them about it, B.
Yes. Okay, so Omax Health's Max Sleep contains a patent-pending combination of natural ingredients that are scientifically proven to optimize your alpha brain waves so you have a calmer mind and better sleep. It contains full-spectrum CBD with 0 THC, so you get all the benefits and relaxation, but you're not going to get high.
And I'm not going to pretend like I know what an alpha brain wave does.
It sounds fancy.
But it sounds fancy. And I do know that after I started taking Max Sleep, the quality of my sleep improved drastically, especially during these times where I'm having a hard time sleeping. I used to have a lot of trouble falling asleep. I would count sheep, listen to ASMR videos. Nothing helped until I tried Max Sleep. And I was finally able to truly calm my body and mind. And not only does it help me fall asleep, it also helps me have a very deep rested sleep. So I wake up and it's not that weird groggy. Yes, did I get 8 hours, but I still feel unrested. You know that feeling?
Yes. Yes. Yes, I know. I've taken other sleep products and you wake up feeling like you're in a haze until noon.
Exactly. With Max Sleep, I wake up and I am fully rested.
So Omax is offering our listeners right now 20% off your first bottle of Max Sleep plus free shipping. And if you don't experience your best night's sleep in just 3 nights, you can return it for a full refund. So they're that confident that it's going to work for you. So if you're ready to relax your mind and get your best night's sleep ever, you need to try Max Sleep. You just go to omaxhealth.com today, Omax Health, and enter code Chatty to get 20% off a 1-month supply plus free shipping. And if you don't have your best sleep in just 3 nights, you can return it for a full refund. So risk-free. That's omaxhealth.com to get free shipping and 20% off site-wide with code Chatty. Again, that's omaxhealth.com and use code Chatty.
Dude, Omax, they are the bee's knees. I love all their products that I've tried. They're amazing.
They are.
All right. So let's talk about listen to your heart, aka take a shot every time everyone mentions Nashville every single time. They are going to talk about Nashville. I just am so excited. It's going to be my new drinking game, even though I'm going to try to recap while I do it. So the recaps may start to get a little fuzzy.
Well, we start out with Chris Harrison, and I'm like, you sly dog, here we are again. This was the weirdest intro, though, into when
yes.
He goes, we're all big fans of A Star Is Born here at The Bachelor. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And he goes, watching Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga fall in love was magical.
I was like, is this a promo for Star Is Born Part 2? But Bekah, we nailed it. Do you remember numerous weeks ago when we first saw the promo, you and I had the conversation on the podcast where we're like, I bet we know what this is. We bet a room full of old men who are executives sat around and goes, you know what did well this season? Star Is Born. Let's replicate that. And we said that, and that's literally exactly how they started this episode. It was like, we're all fans of A Star Is Born over here.
And then you have Trevor in the episode being like, you loved A Star Is Born, right? And I'm just like,
oh, they're going to allude to it constantly. And they're going to sing the songs. Those are going to be the finale songs. Are going to be, Always Remembered This Way, which, loved A Star Is Born, love the soundtrack. Looking forward to hearing everyone perform those songs. Now, I do remember that Lady Gaga randomly tweeted about the Bachelor finale this season. So I'm wondering if she's going to be really involved, at least, not making appearances, but maybe we're going to get some Lady Gaga fun tweets about it during this season.
I don't know. I was pretty surprised that Kesha was judging. I didn't see really anybody else particularly noteworthy, but I was like, okay, they got some big names.
I think there was Kesha.
Right.
I saw Jewel, I think. Jason Mraz with his hat.
I mean, some of them Jason Mraz, plain white tees. Am I shocked? No.
No.
But
no.
Anyway, this was making me wish that we recapped the cast list, except that there's so many goddamn people. I'm like, actually, it's probably better that we didn't. And some people are going to be just non-players.
Well, I mean, there was a few people that we barely saw this episode. And I was like, who are like, we don't know them. Maybe we're going to get to know them next episode. But anyways, I was with you. That intro was weird. And it made me more excited to start the episode. I was like, here we go. This is going to be bizarre.
So some of the people we're introduced to, we start out with Brendan.
Yeah.
The veteran, the music kept him alive.
Yes. Brandon, I think he's a veteran. He's 34. Cute. Liked his vibe. He's one that I'm a little question marky about. I feel like there's going to be some drama with him. Yeah, we'll see.
Bree,
she is an absolute dime piece.
Is she a mom?
I don't know. Oh no, that was the thing. The intro, it was like all the children were on top of her. I was like, oh, she's a single mom. And then it was like, these are my nieces and nephews. I was just
is that what she said? I didn't even catch that.
And I was like,
Well, she's from Provo, which that's actually where Mikkel's from. And so I wonder if Bekah knows her from Provo, Utah, because Mikkel says that there's like a bunch of influencer type people that from Provo, like Mormon mommy blogger type.
She was with a horse in her preview. She had a long flowy dress on. She definitely had that vibe that I wouldn't be surprised if she had a lot of followers going into this. I'm going to call her Brooke Shields because she looks so much like Brooke Shields.
I thought so too. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then we have the knockoff Jason Momoa, sweet Sheridan.
Sheridan.
He seems like a sweet guy.
He seems like a doll. Like he really truly does. My thing is though, he loves his wide flat brimmed hats.
Oh my god.
And that for me is something I just can't. That he ended up being really sweet. But when I first was writing notes down, I wrote down like cowboy hats hot, baseball hats hot, fedora is sad, but a wide brim flat hat, normally they're trouble because normally I feel like most guys who wear a wide brimmed flat hat aren't cool but they're cocky. Like they think they're the shit.
They're like kings of Raya or whatever.
Yeah, and you're just like, dude, guys. How much bigger can you make the hat? That's the goal. It just keeps getting. I wish that we had a sequence.
Then he was obsessed with the Subaru too, and he had the name for the Subaru. I was just like, no, this guy, no. That was my first instinct.
And then did you notice that he mentioned that his little like the hatch on the top? He was like, oh, that's where I would keep all my hats. And I wanted a sequence of Sheridan every time they'd show him that the hat would just start getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I also think the hair doesn't help him. I think it should go. I think he's probably attached to it. I think he can let it go.
Yeah, he's a cutie pie. It's just the look immediately. I had a million red flags, and turns out that he seems like he's a very sweet guy. But when I first saw the intro, I was like, oh Lord, here we go. Here we go.
But I said, oh Lord, here we go. When Bekah with a K-A-H, she's got to die. There can only be one.
How?
She's got to go.
How dare she?
Then, on top of it, not only does she have the same name as me, she has the audacity to be a musical theater actor, which then I wanted to just stab myself.
How dare she? Bekah, you know what has to happen? Fight Island.
Fight Island. 8 months pregnant. Me, you, Bekah. That's it.
They're going to drop you. The UFC is going to drop both Bekahs off in a copter. You guys are going to duke it out, and only one from Bachelor Nation can survive. Well, luckily you already have the handle at Bekah. You own that already.
Ooh, that's true. Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha.
Well, this girl, she is talking to herself in the mirror that she deserves love. She definitely, she seems very high strung.
No, she thinks she's so funny, and I was not having it. I was like, I will not crack a smile. You're not funny.
I will not crack a smile.
I was pissed.
I was like, this girl reminds me of somebody who definitely has gone to a Tony Robbins conference, and no shade to Tony, but she's one of those people that Tony Robbins meets and is like, no, you're too much. This is not what I intended.
She's like Idina Menzel's biggest fan. She just...
Yeah, even though then, again, in the episode, she seemed pretty low key.
Right? I was confused. I was like, is this the same person?
I definitely, I kept going back and checking, and I was like, is this her? Because she even looked different in the intro.
I know, I was confused too.
I was like, I don't understand what's going on. She seems very low key. She's comforting the other girls. She's not singing in a mere opera. Like, what's going on? Then we see Gabe, who... Get you someone who can do both, because we see Gabe flipping tires. He is living his CrossFit life, and then he's playing a violin.
I know.
I mean,
it was actually kind of like, I was sort of impressed by Gabe.
Gabe was very impressive. We didn't see a lot of him this episode, but
no.
I mean, check. If you people who have ever dated a musician, if he also happens to be involved in athletics, that's a diamond in the rough. Normally you got one or the other, especially when you have Gabe playing the violin. It's not like, I also am a singer-songwriter. You're like, oh, this guy is like into classical music. He also mentions that he really loves the Lord. And later in the episode, when he's getting connected with Mel, all of a sudden I'm thinking, is the reason that they have him mention that he loves the Lord maybe because Mel isn't a Christian, and is that going to be a whole thing?
Oh, interesting.
I'm curious. I don't know.
Well, then we have Savannah, the yoga instructor, who is a self-proclaimed bit of a free spirit and a wild child.
Gotta have one.
Immediately, my red flags went up, but I didn't really mind her actually in the episode.
No, you know, that's the thing with literally almost every single one of these people. During their intros, I was like, oh God, here we go. And then in the actual show, everyone seemed cool. Now, again, it's the first episode, so we could have a quick turn here, you know. It could take a swift turn. But she seemed cool on the episode. I definitely got the vibe that this girl is probably a real fun time in the sack. Just wanted to mention that.
Interesting.
Yes.
I like her face too. I do.
I like her face. I like looking at her. I will get into the style afterwards. I liked it, but we'll chat. And then we have Trevor.
Oh, no. I was not, this is actually one that did not change. Immediately, I was like, this guy has been told one too many times that he reminds people of Ryan Reynolds. This guy with his fucking truck and his golden retriever. I was like, no. I thought Sheridan was red flags, and then Trevor was just like this too perfect looking guy with this too perfect little setup. And I'm like, no, this dude has just perfected his rig to get girls in the sack. Like, that's all that this is. And then my opinion didn't change, obviously.
Well, Bekah, you know what I wrote down? And I actually was then very relieved when we saw like the clip for the following weeks about him and his cheating and all this. I wrote down, I said, oh, great. Trevor's the one that Bekah and I are going to get canceled for, because everyone's going to love him and we're not going to trust him. I immediately was just like, he's hot. Everyone's going to be obsessed with him, and you and I aren't going to like him, and we're going to get canceled because we're going to be the only two people who don't like him.
Instincts, baby. Instincts.
Now
so this must be I was just going to say, this must be the preview when he's saying there was some emotional cheating.
Yes.
Now, after we see the preview for the next episode of the ex's friend.
Yes. Okay. And I also don't trust that he's going to stay with Jamie. I feel like he's going to probably hook up with another one of the girls.
Totally.
And now I will say, if I was in these women's shoes meeting him, I completely get his draw. He's very handsome.
Sexy AF.
He's very like calm. I understand.
Well, he's Mr. Handsome for sure. I don't even. Did you see, by the way, these people's bio photos? Because all of the Bachelor people got gypped compared to these. I mean, they are like,
they look hot. Everyone looks real hot in their photos.
Like, they're like super like good quality. Like,
ooh, that is a sexy photo. Damn.
Right? I mean, like, everyone just looks like there's no cheesy backgrounds.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is this about? Anyway.
Well, yeah, I also, Trevor was on American Idol and Katy Perry called him hot. And that was like, oh, I'm sure he brings that up frequently.
Oh.
So he's been around town in this world. Now, something to consider. I don't know if this is 100% accurate, so, don't come for me if it's not. But I was told before this season started.
Oh my gosh, wait, sorry. Yeah. I saw this season with Trevor on it.
Oh, you did?
Because Katie was just like, she gets very theatrical. Yeah, she was like, oh my God, just like fawning over him.
And I'm and
he had a girlfriend at the time.
Oh.
But this is 2018.
I wonder if that's the girlfriend that he emotionally cheated on.
Oh, shit. Anyway, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
So I had heard from a friend of ours, actually, who knows someone who's on the show, that they said that the way that this was cast, and again, I could be wrong. I just heard this from someone else. The way that this was cast, they chose like the top group of people. Everyone showed up. They didn't tell them that it was going to be a dating show.
Yeah, I heard this as well.
Okay. So apparently...
No, I think you and I had talked about this before.
Apparently, these people just showed up thinking it was going to be a kind of music competition that was maybe a little different, like they all live in a house together, whatever. But then... when it was like the top people left, they were like, this is also a dating show. So numerous people left because they were like, well, I'm in a relationship and I can't do this. So part of me is also a little curious, like, are we going to find out now that the season is airing that someone has a significant other and is pulling a Jed because they wanted to stay on the show?
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying at the end of casting that they revealed it to them? Yeah. Not on the actual show.
No, not on the actual show, but I heard,
I see what you mean.
I heard that it was like at the very, like they were like, you're secured for the show pretty much. Like it was the very end of casting and they were like, by the way, it's a romance show, which is funny then when Chris Harrison kept being like, the main reason you're here is for love. And it was like, actually these people auditioned, I think, for a show about trying to get their music out there.
Well, and I text Jess last night because I was dying and I go, I was just like, the funny thing is that these people, I think they thought that they were literally being picked for their musical abilities. Not saying there's not some talented people in the bunch, but I'm like, these casting directors care about that they're going to make good TV. They don't really give a shit about their singing voice.
Oh, completely. Well, lastly, intro-wise, we meet Jamie, who is 21. She is...
I mean, we're gonna talk a lot about her, but
we're gonna talk a lot about her. She talks about how every guy that she's been with has cheated on her. She's talking about how she's quirky and like she's one of the ones who you're like, it's one of that Hannah G thing where it's like, I'm so quirky and weird, and you're like, no, you're just hot and bubbly, and that's that. So don't call yourself weird. You are a 10 out of 10. Hands down, with the best pair of breasts I think I've ever laid my eyes upon.
Sleeper titties.
They came out of nowhere. It was like, whoa. Just incredible.
And yeah, and she's like the most normal person ever.
Yes, she's just bubbly and spunky and beautiful and not weird.
I'll say this, like I just immediately didn't love her, but I'm not going to say that I immediately disliked her. And I sort of maintained that vibe throughout the whole episode. I was like, you're not giving me any reason to really like dislike you, but I could really do without seeing you on my screen.
I felt very similar. She was one of the ones where I'm very curious to watch next episode because I feel like I'm going to develop
it'll solidify the vibe.
It'll solidify an opinion because I could see myself actually really liking her ultimately because she does seem very sweet. Even though she relentlessly brings up the fact that she doesn't want any drama in the house, which means that she's the girl who's going to bring in all the drama.
It's already began.
It's already started. So yeah, I'm interested to see how how she develops as a character. That's for sure.
Next,
the limo. We have the entrances, which...
Okay, yeah. So the first two people basically there are... I love that we don't have to deal with any... Honestly, I like the limo entrances. I'm going to miss them up until September, but I'm glad we don't have to deal with any of these cheesy lines or anything. We just get... People just get thrown in.
I know, it was nice. It was nice they just walked into the house and you're not having to, like you said, come up with anything. There's not cringe. It's just like you see people right away. Well,
so
Jamie is the first one there, and she has to be a huge Bachelor fan, and she is just tingling to meet Chris Harrison. And I keep forgetting too that she is 21. Like she's young.
Yeah.
We see as she walks, by the way, into the house that there is a mic set up like in the backyard. I'm like, oh God.
Oh my God, I know.
My God. What a nightmare. Well, then we meet the love of my goddamn life.
So Ryan, who is, I mean, Jess and I are that thing you do aficionados, and Jess had texted me. I hadn't started watching yet, and she was like, there is a guy who is Guy.
From That Thing You Do.
Immediately when Ryan stepped out of the limo, I knew who she was talking about. He looks like Guy from The Side. A shit ton. And the way he moves his head, like when he was playing the piano, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh.
This is literally Guy Patterson from That Thing You Do.
Guy Patterson. And
it was tripping me the fuck out.
And I was really trying to be very focused on getting to actually know who Ryan is, because I'm immediately in love with him because I'm like, oh, it's just Guy, and I'm obsessed with Guy. I've had a huge crush on Guy for forever.
He seems to have a similar personality.
He's Guy.
And then I started to, throughout the episode, I was like, wait, is he obsessed with That Thing You Do also?
I sure hope.
And I actually think that there's like a high possibility, because I was looking at his suits even.
Well, he shows
very
up,
like 50s.
He shows up in that green suit, and it looks like the suit that Jimmy wore towards the end of That Thing You Do.
Yes. Yes. And that's why I was like, and then sort of his whole like vibe, I'm like, is he going for Guy from That Thing You Do? Like, what's happening?
Honestly,
and I feel like it could be true, because I feel like it's every musician's like childhood favorite movie. And then of course, like, you see that he's like, the thing I like about Ryan is that I was waiting for it to sort of prove itself, but he's like a real musician.
Oh, like so talented.
So talented. And then also when they're going to the recording studio, he knows who all the recording musicians are. So I'm like, this guy like he's a musician.
He has my whole heart, and I'm gonna be real with you. When this like season was starting, or when they were at first announced this, I'm like, there's no way that I'm going to have a crush.
I'm gonna be attracted to
on anyone in this show. I don't like this. I just don't, the whole musician thing, especially like, who you and I, Bekah, are around all the time, like might have red flags constantly with people. I'm like, no. I did not think I was going to fall in love with someone, and I am in love, and he is gorgeous.
He is. And also, like, he is that guy. You see it on night one with Jamie. He is that guy that will fixate, not in a creepy way, but he has that girl that he wants, and he's just like oblivious to all the other adoring girls. And I'm like, this guy could actually have a serious career, because he could be like the next teen heartthrob. Like, I could also see him being sort of like sexually fluid and just like being the current teen demographic, like the heartthrob.
Yes, like a Harry Styles thing.
Yes, exactly. Because he has this sort of, I don't know, this sort of presence, and he's very sort of oblivious to the adoration of everyone, and it just... It works. It works.
And it's...
Jess and I will be fawning over him for the next 8 weeks. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry, you guys. Just prepare yourself that Bekah and I will be red and heart-eyed the entire time. Ryan, we love you.
Well, and everyone loves him. You see at the end, everyone's like, oh my God, thank God Ryan's like continuing on.
And I will talk about a moment as we get into it. There were so many like checks as he was doing stuff that I was like, I like this about him. I like this about him. I like this about him. And there was a specific moment where I was like, that's my guy. We'll get into it. But
okay.
I mean, my God.
Okay, also
obsessed.
We have Matt pretending he doesn't know who Chris Harrison is, or maybe he doesn't know who he is. And I was like, excuse me, that's our thing?
Excuse me,
Stop.
You're not allowed to diss Chris Harrison. Only we are, okay? You're calling him Chris Hansen, Chris Hemsworth. This is not To Catch a Predator, Matt. This is The Bachelor, okay? Let's not mistake him for Chris Hansen. That would be unfortunate if you were walking into a house that Chris Hansen was standing outside of. Now that is a red flag.
Also, you know, someone said the line, I do singer-songwriter stuff. And I was like, oh, this is the Bachelor equivalent of I'm an entrepreneur or I'm a personal trainer.
And that's it. And that's it.
I do singer-songwriter stuff. Also, I feel like, Jess, I feel like you and I are gonna be a little more like, I don't know. I just feel like we have a different take on it, because Grayson's the first person I've dated that hasn't been any kind of musician, and
we're gonna have a perspective, and not to be annoying and be like, Bekah and we know so much about musicians, but like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I feel like, I don't want to say this without being obnoxious. I'll say I'm married to someone who is a musical director for like big acts, who does like a bunch of music production with like big names. Like, we're around, and like you have dated some serious musicians. Like, we've been around that. Most all of our friends are in the industry musically. So I feel like we're around it a lot, and that's so annoying to say, but like, it's just, I mean, it just is what it is.
Yeah, and some of my friends that I was friends with in the LA world, like, before we like were friends with people, you know, like, it's sort of all the same like community of people.
Yeah, so I feel like we're gonna have some opinions that maybe won't be super popular.
They also just may not make sense. So people are gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. Anyway,
there was a few moments like when someone, I think it was Trevor, mentioned like, my dream is to be in a tour bus with my wife or my girlfriend, and that's like the most romantic thing ever. And I was like, that's a nightmare. Okay? I know that it sounds really fun to be on a tour bus with your significant other, but unless you are Lady Gaga and are like one of the top 5 musicians in the, or
it's not
artists
be
in the
super
entire
glam,
world,
honey.
Your tour bus will include 12 bunks, and everyone is sleeping in them, and you and your girlfriend, if you want to be together, will be in a single bunk that has a little curtain up against the side of the wall, and it is half the size of a twin bed, and you will have to lay on top of each other. There's not a lot of showers. You have to, everyone poops.
It ain't gonna be sexy.
It's not sexy. It's the opposite of sexy, okay?
Also, I think that like what's interesting about the show, and Gray actually brought this up, he's like, none of these people seem like they're even remotely established musicians. Like, I have some friends that aren't like big musicians, but they're still like, they have experience with touring and like that kind of thing. No, these people are like not experienced musicians, which is also interesting because like you're looking at some of these people's jobs and you're like, oh, some of these people are like waitresses and waiters, like trying to catch their big break. I think some of them, like Ryan, are orthodontist assistants or whatever he is. And I'm like,
my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. Another that thing you do reference. The dentist.
Right? I know. Who his girlfriend ends up with.
Okay.
I know. I caught that last night and I was like,
oh my God. Well, yes, a lot of them are waitress, and which I like that they're not like super established. There's a few, I think it's Rudy, who's like a vocalist. It says that she's a studio vocalist.
Oh, really?
So she's professional. Okay. Actually, I mean, Sheridan, it says that he's a musician. So it's, you know, he's traveling around doing gigs.
Living out of his
I think it said that Matt was also a musician professionally. I'm not 100% sure. But what did you think of Matt right off the bat?
Hated his hair.
Yeah, I can't do the hair.
I don't know. And in the episode too, I mean, we should probably get to it. We have so much to cover. True. But I don't. Yeah, I'm just going to wait till we get to the scenarios with Matt, because I have feelings about certain things and then I have like feelings about other things. I don't know.
Okay.
Some conflicting things.
All right. Well, Savannah walks in looking like a smoke show with her.
She drops her modeling agency comment.
Oh
and
my God.
I wanted to shoot. Yeah, I was
If I was looking for just a pretty face, let me go find the people back at my modeling agency.
I'm like,
I was like, okay. I guess we know
that was actually her worst moment, and then it got better from there. But at that first comment, I was like, wow, I'm going to hate you.
I know. I was like, oh no. But she looked slamming. I loved the leather pants and the sequin, tube top vibe.
Oh yeah,
I was super into it. We meet Mel. She's 27. She's got her purple hair, probably the alternative girl. We don't really get a ton from her. Then we see the conversation between Ryan and Jamie.
Who he drops about his story about brain surgery immediately. And I was like, whoa, you were made for The Bachelor. You guys haven't even had a one-on-one date and you're laying it all out there.
I'm like, Ryan, you are a professional at this, my guy. Nice. I was also like, he said that he had seizures when he was young and then had brain surgery. And Jamie had asked, what's a really good memory you had as a child? And he says that. And then he says that it's because it gave me a new lease on life, a new perspective. And I don't want to sound like a completely raging bitch because I can't imagine having a kid going through something like this.
No. Trust me, I'm probably on the same page. You're like, what, this 7-year-old got a new lease on life?
6. And it said that he gave him a new perspective. Now, the only reason that Ryan actually seems like someone who is maybe that thoughtful that at 6,
I think he seemed genuine.
He's one of those people that you're looking at who's a 6-year-old and they have like more depth than you do already. And you're like, oh, holy shit. Like you could really go there mentally already. All right. And Ryan seems like he had this new perspective on life and he appreciates it now.
He was like, I was taking things for granted a lot in kindergarten. I don't want to laugh because I was going off the beaten path. I was going off the whatever. Oh. I was going down the wrong path, and then I got a perspective shift. Oh man.
Well, Jamie then is saying that she's worried that a girl is going to steal him, and I was like, yeah, you better hold tight to your guy because he is a catch. Seems like she doesn't care though because soon someone else walks in.
Yeah, we meet Rudy, and I like her and this is someone who shifted.
Yes.
I really liked her at first, and I was like, oh, she's cool. She's fun. I thought she was funny. She's saying I'm in love all the time. Mm-hmm. I've dated everyone in LA, and I was like, oh, I like this girl. She seems cool.
Yeah, I wrote down, I'm like, she's darling. I love her. That was my initial feeling.
Me too.
I was like, oh, she's going to be one of my favorites. And I love when she like entered in to the mansion and was like, I've worked all my life to sing for a living, but to do it with hot people, yes.
Yes.
She was fun. She was fun. But then, yes, I had shifts happening. And I feel like Rudy is going to be a handful this season. That's for sure.
Yes.
So Trevor walks in, and he's the last person to enter the mansion, and all the men are quaking immediately.
Yes.
All the men are nervous. He's your classic handsome guy. He exudes a lot of confidence.
Jamie immediately falls in love with Trevor upon seeing him.
Immediately.
And yeah, and wow, she's getting herself ahead of herself right away. In the interviews, she's just like, I've been waiting for this moment to fall in love. And I'm like,
you're like, whoa.
Wow, you also, I guess, are perfect for this show. Wow.
Fantastic.
Rudy's vibing with Matt. Michael Todd immediately comes in and is like pretty much walks in the door and tries to make out with Savannah. And I've never seen someone with a name that fits them so well since John Paul Jones. And Michael Todd is so much of a Michael Todd.
Absolutely. Not only does Michael Todd walk in with the most insane energy, like just the energy he's giving off is just out of control. He has the facial hair that is shaped too perfectly, and he is wearing a brown leather suit jacket. I would like to make note that Michael Todd is from Atwater, California, which means he's my neighbor. Okay? He's my neighbor. So obviously he leaves the show. I'm gonna run into this guy. After lockdown's over, all I'm saying is I'm going to have to run into Michael Todd somewhere in Atwater, and I am dreading it, okay?
You just gotta be like, Michael Todd.
Michael Todd.
Michael Todd, you sly
touch.
son of a bitch.
Hot touch. Can we hear a couple bars from Hot Touch, Michael Todd?
Oh my God. Oh, also, Trevor wasn't the last one. A ton of other random fucking people were also coming in who we have no idea who.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I feel like he walked in and he was just like, oh, am I the last one?
Well, no, it doesn't matter because he basically is the last one because we only know who 6 of these goddamn people are. Like everyone else is superfluous.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know if I used that word right. But there's 20 people, which actually it seemed like so much more, maybe because it's both guys and girls. But I was like, this is actually a significantly less. Like sometimes we get 30 women coming in for the beginning season of The Bachelorette, but we got 20 people here. It feels like a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of Michael, we do have the moment where with Savannah, she, by the way, I started to immediately like her when I saw her with Michael Todd because you could tell he had already started to sing Hot Touch with her when he came up to her very aggressively and started telling her that she had blue-green eyes, and she was like, "You're right, nice." and then there's
and he goes, yeah, sparkly,
and then when she's sitting with him moments later, this girl, she 100% was egging him on. And that's when I was like, I like her. She was fully egging him on. She was like, hit me with your best beatbox, Michael Todd. And she's watching him just make a fool of himself, and she's fully doing it on purpose. And it was so funny to me. And then he says, I like your lips a lot. And he's like, you don't like my lips? And then he tries to immediately go in for the kiss, and she's pulling back. And then he does his smile, by the way, which he is the new Joker. His smile is this. And you're like, what? Whoa, is that intentional? It's the wildest smile I've ever seen.
Well, so it was almost as bad. I mean, it took the cake for bad come-ons, but there was a couple of them this episode.
They were really bad. So Sheridan walks in. We see a few other people that we don't really, we don't know about because they end up leaving. But Sheridan walks in. He is wearing 1 million rings. There's a ring on every single finger, and I'm sure if he would
his accessorizing,
if he would take his shoes off, there'd be a ring on every single toe. He loves his accessories, that's for sure.
Okay, so let's see. All right.
And then Brandon, so, Brandon comes in.
Oh, I thought it was Brendan. Whoops. So some of the major, not major, some of the bigger stuff that starts happening. Julia is vibing with Sheridan. She talks about being diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. They have a nice chat.
Yes.
She then gets swooped up by Brandon. And Sheridan, poor guy, we see him being kind of insecure throughout this episode. It's like he's always really worried about these other guys.
I know, he really has his sights set on Julia. And I think that he really likes her a lot. And I really hope that she loves him back.
She seems popular because she gets swooped by Brandon, and then she gets swooped by that other guy later on too.
Yes. I forget what his name is. Is it?
She's the belle of the ball.
She really is. And I'm going to be honest, I thought it would be Savannah that everyone was going to be going after, but everyone really had their eyeballs on Julia.
Maybe Savannah has more friend vibes. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Royston and Ruth are standing out my window right now, waving at me. Hello from the studio. Hello. Also, I just wanted to make a note that there's this couple, I don't know either of their names, and they get to the piano first, and you see everyone standing in the hallway looking at them, and they all look like rabid animals watching them. They're like,
I should have made that first move.
Damn it, they got to the piano first.
I should have made the first move.
The only thing more terrifying than a house full of musicians with one piano would be like a house full of musical theater people with one piano. I mean, they're just like, God damn it. How do they find it first? They're all about
They're
to
waking
pounce.
up as early as possible. The sun is rising and they're trying to secure their piano bench spot. It's like, I'm going to do this.
Sunday morning rain is falling. Which, by the way, is probably one of the only songs they have the rights to, considering it seems like they only have the copyright, the rights to songs before 2008.
Yes.
Seems.
There's definitely not going to be any modern songs minus A Star Is Born. Those are going to be the only songs. Everything else is going to be, some throwbacks we're going to be enjoying.
Well, what I was surprised about was that this hot tub is just, people can just switch out of their evening wear to don swimsuits and hop in the tub.
Listen, it is popping off. People are really, I want to say too, not only was the hot tub, people within the first few hours were kissing. Julia started kissing Brandon right away. There was a lot of making out amongst the couples. They're for like, the first
you want
day.
A dating show?
Oh, we thought this was going to be mostly music, but you want a dating show? We'll give you a dating show. We're going to give you our all. B, before we get into more of it, should we pause for a moment? Let's pause for a moment. Broads, my lovely broads, because we love you. We're going to let you in on a little secret that I wish I had known a long time ago. Here it goes. You do not have to spend thousands of dollars at a fancy cosmetic dentist to get that glowing white smile of your favorite Bachelor contestant or listen to your heart contestant, okay? Not even close, actually. Thanks to Hi Smile's teeth whitening system, all you need is 10 minutes a day for 6 days. That's it. 10 minutes to throw your feet up, take some deep breaths, and get the smile of your dreams.
So if you've ever used other whitening systems before or had your teeth whitened at a dentist, let me assure you, this is nothing like that. There is zero sensitivity after using Hi Smile. Broads, I got my teeth professionally whitened last year, and I am not exaggerating. This is at like a licensed dentist's office, shooting nerve pain through my teeth.
I remember when that happened to you.
Like crippling. Like, this is someone who's gone through natural childbirth. And I was like, I can't handle this. Okay, this is nothing like that. There's zero sensitivity after using Hi Smile. And anyway, I was so excited after I used it for the first time because there was really no pain. And I even get pain with the white strips too.
Yeah.
Because those normally make my teeth so sensitive. So if you've suffered from sensitive teeth in the past with other whitening methods like I have, I highly recommend you give this system a try.
B, I was the same exact way. Literally, my teeth are so sensitive and I've always had pain when it comes to whitening. So before, when I got Hi Smile and I put the gel in the dish, I was literally like, oh man.
Hands
and
shaking.
I was nervous. I was like, I really don't want my teeth to hurt. I felt nothing. Absolutely nothing. But don't just take it from us. Hi Smile is already known and loved amongst A-list celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Millie Bobby Brown, Kylie Jenner, and a lot more. That's right. Even they don't need thousands of dollars in a fancy cosmetic dentist because Hi Smile is the secret behind their beautiful smiles, and it can be behind yours too.
So if you're a little skeptical like we were, Hi Smile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee. I love when brands do this. So if you don't see at least 2 shades whiter teeth after using their kit, you can send it back. So not only that, but for our lucky listeners, Hi Smile's offering 20% off site-wide for a limited time only. Simply visit order.hismileteeth.com/chattybroads to shop their range of products and enter code CHATTY at checkout for 20% off. Again, that's order.hismileteeth.com/chattybroads and enter code CHATTY at checkout.
Well, Broads, I don't know what day of quarantine we're on anymore. Seriously, I'm beginning to lose all sense of time. I keep seeing these memes online of quarantine phases, and I can't stop laughing because they are so accurate. There's the cooking and baking phase. I definitely hit the baking one, not so much the cooking one.
Yep, I'm over it now.
Yep. And I'm over that now. Then there was the home improvement phase. Did that.
I'm in it.
You're in that one. Well, then there's the wine at 2 p.m. phase. And yeah, I did that too. But I'm excited that I have now entered the creative endeavor part of quarantine, where I can and will finally learn one of the creative skills I've been meaning to master forever. And I'm doing this, of course, with the help of our favorite, Skillshare.
Yeah, I'm sure it comes as no surprise. Both of us are obsessed with Skillshare. It's the coolest and easiest to use online learning community that offers literally thousands of inspiring classes and pretty much any topic you can think of. They've got photography, web development, marketing, animation, and so much more. Gray and I decided that this week we're going to start taking an oil painting class and getting out our easels and just doing a little date night thing.
Oh my God, that is very romantic. That is very romantic. Right? I definitely picture you guys painting and then rolling it maybe later.
No, the oil paint will make a mess. But anyway, I think it'll be a lot of fun, and having a creative outlet like that really gives us purpose and structure to days and evenings that seem a little uncertain and boring at the moment.
100%. I'm actually taking a class called Everyday Minimalism, Find Calm and Creativity in Living Simply. And just the act of setting aside some time in the day helps settle my anxious mind a little bit. Not to mention that title is incredibly zen and already brings me a little bit of peace of mind before I even begin the class. And another added benefit of Skillshare is that it lets me tap into fellow creatives who provide encouragement, communication, and inspiration, which gives me an essential sense of community right now. It's super cool.
You can explore your creativity and get 2 free months of premium membership at Skillshare.com/chatty. That's 2 whole months of unlimited access to thousands of classes for free. So get started and join today by heading to Skillshare.com/chatty. 2 months of unlimited access to thousands of classes at Skillshare.com/chatty.
All right, so hot tub times. Well, we see Michael trying to get Brooke Shields, aka Bree, in the hot tub as soon as he sees that Rudy and Matt are heading for the hot tub, and it was one of my favorite, most cringy moments when she is very sweet and is trying to just avoid it, and she's just like, I have to use the restroom.
The dodge was real.
If Michael Todd would have been like, hey, to me, hey, do you want to go and hit the hot tub? I'd be like, I actually have explosive diarrhea, and I know that those signs around the hot tub always say if you've had diarrhea in the past few days.
It's like 10 days.
And honestly, I've been having explosive diarrhea every day for the past 10 days. Just try to disgust him to the max, and he probably would have been like, that's okay, we can take it to the bathtub if you want.
Oh. I was going to say he would have found his way around it. Well, we could just put our feet in. It's fine.
But like, let's be nude and then put our feet in.
Oh. Michael Todd, I don't even know what this guy's deal is. But then we have Matt and Rudy, and like the way that, so like Rudy was obviously vibing on Matt, and the way Matt came on to her, like for me and Gray were both like, nah, dude, because the way he came on to her was basically just like, oh, do you judge someone by the way they kiss? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, if you're like at a party in a hot tub, I get it. But she's like vibing on you, and this is like a dating show, and you're just sort of showing her that you just want to hook up.
Yeah.
And it like would make me feel really weird, and I would be kind of off put by it.
Yeah, no, I felt the same way. It was weird because Matt, when he first came in, though I did not like the hair, I actually was like, this guy seems fun and funny and charming. And I'm like, oh,
yeah, I
had this moment where I'm like, oh, I could see myself maybe falling in love with someone like him on this show because he seems like he's got a really good personality and whatever. And then as soon as they had this hot tub moment, I was like, what just happened? Like his energy just got weird. And like you said, the way he started the conversation was bizarre, and I got why then she was avoiding the kiss, because it was like, this is so not organic and this is really weird,
and it wasn't romantic. It was just sort of like cheap, like let's hook up kind of thing. And I was like, oh
yeah, there was no in the moment like I'm gonna stare into her eyes for a minute or be playful and then like get into the kiss. It was literally just like, so you want to do this thing or not?
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to be a nah.
Very weird.
Very, very weird.
Well,
yeah.
Speaking of kisses, after Jamie's literally only talking about Ryan's physical features and continues to do that through the whole episode. And their kiss wasn't that hot.
No, it was very brief. It was like, now he looks like a good kisser. I'm going to give him that. When he leaned in,
I don't think they have chemistry with each other.
No, it was like I saw the kiss, and when I saw the lips conjoin, I was like, they both look like good kissers, but it looks like their kiss is not good together.
She seemed not into it,
especially in comparison to when you'd see her kissing a Trevor, okay, which was maybe one of the hottest makeout scenes I've seen like ever on the show. Like that makeout scene was out of control in the hot tub.
Well, we see though, and this is where the chemistry would be happening for me, Ryan, the piano player, just hitting his little rendition of Stand By Me. I'm like, okay. And this is cute.
And this is my moment. So Ryan's playing the piano while then Jamie, I love how they were flashing back and forth in between after Jamie and Ryan have their kiss. And then Jamie goes off with Trevor in the hot tub and they're starting to make out and they're flashing between him and Ryan. And the whole house is with Ryan enjoying their time. And he has no idea, poor sweet Ryan, what's going on. This is when I fell in love with Ryan. And I don't know if you noticed this. He starts playing on the piano Stand By Me and he does not sing.
I know. Jess, trust me.
And that is when my heart exploded.
Noted and attracted. And I'm like, oh.
And that is when the river ran from me because
he let that other guy take the lead. And truly, I felt the same way. I was like, yes.
It was like,
and also you saw his love of the music. He's smiling. He's playing the piano.
Oh.
He just wants to jam with his friends. He doesn't have to be the star of the show.
No, he doesn't have to be the center of attention because I'm going to tell you this, Broads. I can guarantee there is not a single person in that house that if they would have sat behind the piano wouldn't have immediately started singing. And the truth of the matter is, if I would have gotten in front of the piano, I would have started to sing too. So the fact that he literally was like, let's make this a session and had everyone joining in. And that was just part one of me seeing that he's a caring person and it's not the Ryan show.
So I really think that he could actually make a pretty good career for himself as like the leading man. But I also think he'd make a great studio musician because people are going to love working with him.
Yes, he's wonderful and flexible and he is a gift from the Lord sent above.
Easygoing.
He is our new altar. He is the new one that we worship at the feet of Ryan. And that's a fact.
You know what, too? I think people don't realize, like, especially in LA, there are so many goddamn talented people.
Oh.
A lot of times the people like really making it, especially if we're talking about like studio musicians and stuff like that, they're not necessarily the most talented person in the bunch. No, there's someone that can give the other person the stage and can be chill and easy to fucking work with.
Yeah, and it's not all about the ego.
Take you so far.
Yeah, it's not all about the ego. And you can see that with Ryan. He just loves music. And it's just like, it's... I'm leaving, Evan.
He just loves music. We're crying. But yeah, Jamie and Trevor, meanwhile, hid in the hot tub and just...
And the moment that they kiss, that's when I was like, oh, it's all over. She's picking him. I mean, that's it. She had her legs wrapped around him. That makeout session lasted forever. That was so passionate. And it's hot in the hot tub. I mean,
she's so much more attracted to him.
So much more attracted to him.
Chemistry-wise.
It's very clear. And
how old is Trevor? Because Ryan's what, like 28? I
think him and I believe Ryan is 28 and Trevor is 29.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Well, then the next day, we do have a moment where we see Chris playing the piano in the morning and singing. And again, I am weak. Okay. There's another talented individual. it was another moment where I was like, I don't hate all the music in the show like I thought I was going to. It was like early morning, everyone was drinking their coffee, and he was playing a beautiful song on the piano and singing at the beginning, and I was like, I wouldn't hate being here.
It's not all corny.
No, I'm like, I would not hate being here in the morning right now with a cup of coffee watching Chris play the piano. I wouldn't hate it. And then we see Jamie and Trevor. They're talking. They're still connecting. It was like they're reconnecting after their like sexy night. And it's flashing to Ryan, who is now wearing glasses, tortoiseshell glasses and a green hoodie, and is looking so cute in the morning. And I'm having to like pause, okay, to just take deep breaths. It's like he's somehow getting hotter, and I can't even like physically handle it. And in his adorable little hoodie and glasses, he gets the date card. He does. Trevor's worst nightmare.
And of course, because he's one of those guys that only has the eye for one girl. I don't know why he's so fixated on Jamie. But
yeah,
of course, he gives her the date. And then this was they leave to go cruise around in the limo. And I'm like, wow, remember the days when at reality TV when we could just cruise around in a limo around town?
Go outside.
Stop at a gas station, pop in.
Not wear any masks.
Get a Slurpee. Yeah.
Mask free.
Wow.
Bizarre, right? I mean, such a trip. Well, of course, the date is at Capitol Records.
I know. They didn't waste any time with that one.
They went straight to Capitol Records. And if you have lived in LA at any point in your life, you know that at some point you will end up knowing someone who knows someone who can get you onto the roof of Capitol Records. So you can get on the rooftop
of Capitol Records.
Watch the sunset, make out with whoever. It's just what you do.
I've got photos up there.
So do I.
Yep.
It's just part of what you do.
Oh, man.
Well, like you said,
if you're anyone who's anybody, that is.
You've gone to the top of Capitol Records at sunset.
Well, I'm dying that, of course, I was also confused. So, like, what, are they just going to go lay down a track? Like, I didn't really get what was going on.
I don't know. I wasn't 100% sure. I'm also wondering if The Bachelor's going to start dropping these tracks, like American Idol style. Like every week.
That's a good idea.
We'll have an album. We'll have a record then, one with, Ryan and Jamie singing Gravity.
I loved that when I used to watch American Idol. I would always be like, oh, I'm going to go download that. I like it.
Girl, are you kidding me? Clay Aiken and Ruben Studdard season, I had all the tracks. On the wings of love, up and above the clouds. Every time Clay would drop a new song, I'd be purchasing that, playing it all day.
I was on the Adam Lambert train. I was like, oh my gosh, Tracks of My Tears by Adam Lambert.
Oh, yeah.
Need it on my iPod now.
Yes. Oh, God. Adam Lambert, what a god. Whew.
He's one of those people who just really made a career for himself after.
Well, he was actually like a really famous musical theater actor before he went on. And I had actually seen him perform in a few musical theater shows, and I became like a super fan. And then I'm like, oh my God, he's on American Idol. Just killing.
He was fantastic. I had a friend who dated him.
Really?
And, oof.
His voice is otherworldly.
He's so sexy. I was so into him.
Me too.
And my 14-year-old self, or however old, 11, however old I was like, oh my God, like he's gay, so tragic, as if I had a shot with him before. Like,
you're like, I am one hot 14-year-old.
I can shoot my
Just
shot.
a couple more years and I'll be able to shoot my shot, and I'm gonna score.
Well, here I get nervous because I'm like, oh, we haven't heard Ryan sing yet. What's going to happen? Now, Jamie, before she even opened her mouth, I wrote, you got to see the way I typed it out, because I spent about 5 minutes trying to type it out. As in, Jamie's the kind of girl who's going to sing the national anthem like, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air. And I typed that out with a lot of different capitalizations and not capitalizations to try to get it right. And then immediately when they start singing Gravity, I'm like, gravity is working against me. Oh, gravity. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Here we go.
You're like, you can take a step back on the runs, my friend. This isn't a marathon. Too many runs.
Wait, I have to ask. Did you see the thing that Gal Gadot did where she had all the Imagine all the people
living in our mansions high. You're like, why are you guys doing this?
Basically, I'm just going to say this real quick because it just reminded me of this. Gal Gadot got all these celebrities to sing Imagine, each taking their own little snippet, and they were just getting absolutely like trashed by comedians because they're just like, they're singing Imagine No Possessions, like as they're singing from their mansions with their 3 pools or whatever. But also some of these celebrities who are literally trying to outshine the other celebrities.
Oh, it's fantastic.
In their single line with the runs and the notes they're hitting. I'm like, oh, it was just, you gotta go watch it. If you haven't seen it. It's so cringy.
It was just a beautiful orchestra of egos slamming against each other to see who was gonna be the top name on E or TMZ the next day. Is like, oh my God, that was fantastic.
Did you know they had such a good voice?
Shook. Absolutely shook. Well,
anyway, that's reminding me of that
completely. And you know what though? Okay, so here's the deal. Like you had said, Ryan walks in. Ryan knows exactly who all the producers are. I love when he was talking to the one, John Leja, and he's just like, yeah, you did Room for Squares. And he's beaming. He knows who every musician is. He's having his guy moment where he's just so excited. And another moment where I just felt like we see this beautiful soul that Ryan is again. Here he is in a room full of heroes of his, really. And he's now sitting with Jamie, and he starts to play the actual song, and the note doesn't work for her. And most musicians would be like, well, that's the note, though, that he's worried about how he's going to sound. Without question, right. He modulates those keys to fit exactly what she wants. He doesn't question or try his voice out and see is this his right note? He is wanting her to shine. He's going to do whatever is most comfortable for her. Modulating, gorgeous, perfection, selfless. We stand.
Well, and I like his voice too. He sounds really nice.
His voice is gorgeous. He has he sounds very similar to John Mayer.
He does. Yeah.
And
about the same
it
thing.
Ended up working out in his favor. That's for sure.
Meanwhile, she's pulling like a Fergie national anthem cover on Gravity.
I will say I would have been so nervous if I was her because he clearly he's done studio work. You see the way when he's changing keys effortlessly, he's like a consummate musician. You saw him on the piano. Jamie probably maybe doesn't even play an instrument and she's just a good singer and that's like what she does, right? So to be in a studio and they're talking about keys and they're reading music, I would be so intimidated and be like, oh my God, am I going to have to do all these crazy harmonies right now? And am I going to be shamed?
Right, because someone who can sing is different from someone who's a musician.
Exactly.
Even if you can really belt out those notes.
You could be the most incredible singer in the whole world and not be like a musician and not be able to read sheet music or anything like that and be like so nervous in a studio full of professional musicians. I would have been shitting myself. So when she was talking about being nervous, I was like, yeah, I understand that. That's for sure.
And I wondered, I was like, oh, how's Ryan gonna Ryan is so like awestruck by her for whatever reason. It's like he's just like, yeah, this is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't really get it, but whatever.
Well, then we have a quick moment back at the mansion while this is happening.
Yeah.
And so Trevor is tripping out because he's wanting to sing with Jamie. And
such a funny thing too. Like I want to be singing with her.
I need to have her hear my glorious pipes.
Oh my God.
Which, by the way, in comparison to Ryan, Trevor, you didn't have nothing on him. Okay.
No.
It's not even in the same ballpark, my friend.
No. Oh God, I can't wait to talk about that moment.
So we have a
Bree
moment.
And Chris.
Yeah. Bree and Chris are vibing on each other. Julia says that she is really liking Sheridan, but honestly, she just can't imagine being with him because, like, what would his nightstand look like with all those rings? She didn't say that. She likes him.
Also, like, is he one of those people that never takes them off?
All I could think about was having sex with a guy with that many accessories, and you're about to hop in bed and he's just like, 1 second. Taking off every necklace, every single ring.
4 different hats that are underneath his one hat.
It's that SpongeBob 4 hours later. Sheridan is still taking jewelry off, and Julia's just spread, like, ready for him.
I think they could be a kind of a cute couple.
I know. I think so, too. I really think so, too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I actually don't remember. So my notes are a little jumbled. The couple comes back, and then also Matt gets the date card.
Ryan and Jamie are still on their date, but at that point, Rudy is talking about how she is into Matt and she regrets not kissing him and she wants to talk to him about it. Matt then gets the date card, and he's a little bit like, well, after that last night with Rudy, it was a little weird. I don't know, why she didn't kiss me or whatever. And all of us are like, we can tell you why, Matt.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's the thing. He has the conversation with Mel, and then he has the conversation with Rudy. And then of course he ends up asking Mel, and then Rudy's getting all upset. But I felt like she, talking to the other girls, twisted a bit. I'm not on Matt's side by any means, but Rudy twisted it after talking to the girls and being like, he asked me like, do I want to go on the date? Like, I'm going to take you on this date. That's not what fucking happened.
No.
He said, I'm pretty sure he said, what would you do, like, on a date with me?
It was...
Or asked some kind of, like, general question like that.
It was one of those things where, and even if he would have said, actually even said, like, I want to take you on this date, like, which I don't think he did unless they cut that, but I feel like they would have shown that. It was one of those things where, like, you read between the lines, right? He's pulling aside you and another girl, and he's like, being like, oh, what do you want to do? I really like you. I'm vibing. It'd be fun to go on this date with you, whatever. And of course he's saying that to the, like, that's just what you do. I don't know. It's just, it's a version of The Bachelor. Like, this is just what happens. So when she then decides that she's gonna be like, he had officially asked me, it was like, I didn't get that vibe from him.
No, she was trying to make it a Barnett situation, and it wasn't.
That's right.
It wasn't. It just wasn't. So I was kind of like, that immediately sort of tweaked me a little bit, because I'm like, I get that you guys were vibing the night before, but, like, I don't think you never really, like, laid claim to him, and I didn't really get the impression that he was, like, leading you on.
And it also has been less than 20.
So that bothered me.
Less than 24 hours, and so I feel like the level of unhinged that she became after he asked Mel on the date was a
little bit scary.
Not only are you freaking out and telling all the girls you are now singing a sad song, mourning by the
most dramatic ass piano song about, like, being like even though man, what a voice. I don't know what song it was, but she was just like, it was doomed forever. We were never going to work, or whatever the fuck she was singing. I was just like, wow, really? This is how you're reacting? This
seems extreme.
This seems a bit extreme.
Well, then, so she's freaking out. And then we just have a quick glimpse back at Ryan and Jamie's date. And, they lay down the tracks and Ryan's voice and all that. And then they're on the Capitol Record roof. They're kissing, but it's definitely not even close to the makeout session.
It's lukewarm.
It's not even close to the makeout session that Trevor and her were having. And I'm like, Ryan, I wouldn't do you dirty like that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Wouldn't do you dirty like that.
I would be sucking your dick on the roof of Capitol Records. You better believe. My guy. Literally, my guy. And then what? They don't get a dinner date? Like they just go back?
I'm just picturing the outline of you guys at sunset on the Chris.
I'm making moves. I am not letting this man go.
I am laying claim.
I am laying claim.
Oh God. Okay, sorry.
But yeah, like what? They don't get an evening portion of the date. They just go home after that.
I guess
like,
these
okay.
are short dates. Well, you see that,
which I'm actually fine with. I don't need to see your dumbass conversation for like 3 hours.
I don't need the lengthy dates. Give us the drama. Like I don't.
We want to see the chemistry. Yeah, we want to see the drama. We don't really care about everything else in between.
Exactly.
We already established that you had brain surgery. You got a new lease on life. Glad we got that out of the way. Let's move on.
Let me see you playing that guitar, playing that piano again. Okay, that's all that Mama wants.
Playing my heartstrings.
Well, we then see Chris and Bree, and they're talking about how they like each other. They're cute. I think that they're really cute. And Chris says that he's gonna make Brooke sing him a song, or Bree sing him a song. I keep literally calling her Brooke Shields. But we never see her sing. I'm anxious to hear everyone. I'm super excited now to hear all these different vocalists. Well, we then see Rudy talking about Matt, and she's telling all the girls that she's pissed. She's retelling the tale. It's
not quite exactly what happened.
No, and then she's now setting the girls off against Matt. So Savannah and Bekah are like, hell no, we are not into this. And she said she hopes that Mel and Matt's date goes terribly.
Well, the plain white tees, I guess, are hurting for a paycheck because they're playing on this little backyard stage. And
I mean,
that lead singer is looking old.
They're getting old. They're getting up there. Hey there, Delilah. What a banger, but that was quite a minute ago. That song was a long time ago. And you know what it looked like? Have you ever been to a So Far show?
No.
They have them. I think they have them in LA, and they have them in like New York and Chicago, I think, and a bunch of cities. And there are these small private shows where they set up on the ground, they take place in different backyards or whatever. And you have like sometimes big name musicians, and they have, they have the rugs and the pillows. So when they walked in and there was other people there, I do have to say props to The Bachelor, because I liked that there were other random people there watching it, and it wasn't a private show with just Matt and Mel and the plain white tees, because that would have made me feel so uncomfy. Agreed. And at least walking in, there's the energy of other people around you where you're not just like, cool, it's just me and whatever the lead singer of the plain white tees name is in my face.
Absolutely
singing
true.
into my eyes. Well, their
date's pretty, there's not much to comment on. Like he said later, like there wasn't that much chemistry between them. It's just, it fell flat.
And I think that Matt,
and that was a music pun.
Yeah, and I wonder too, like, is the only reason he took Mel because Rudy wouldn't kiss him? I don't know. Well, then we see Rudy singing back at the mansion, and
her dramatic ass.
Yeah, and in that moment I go, Rudy's about to have numerous guys interested in her because her voice is mental. Her voice is, regardless of the drama.
She's also got a banging bod. I don't know if you noticed when she headed for the hot tub.
Oh, I noticed.
Yeah, we did too.
I noticed. The men, I feel like Rudy is a sleeper here a little bit, and I think some of the guys are going to start coming out of the woodworks and start vibing on her because she, with that voice, and all these people are there going like, people are there to get a ticket to fame, and they're like, oh, I want to be connected with this girl because her voice is insane.
This is true. I didn't really think about it in that way. I was thinking about just people being attracted to each other based on their talents, but then also that makes sense. Like,
because think about it, like even if you like one of the contestants, right? One of the other contestants, and then you hear them sing and their voice is mediocre, you're like, well, I guess we could make it all the way and be like a cute couple that everybody likes, but we're not going to get like the song that's all over Spotify that everyone's downloading. I need to be with a real ringer of a singer to be able to really
It's totally
make it.
true. And I really didn't think about it from that angle, but that makes a lot of sense.
It's all about the strategy here. All about the strategy.
Also, who's going to compliment my voice? You know?
Exactly. Well, before we get into the cocktail party, I want to take a little minute.
Yeah.
All right, broads. Well, sex ed has come away since the days of condom on the banana pregnancy prevention demos. There's no doubt about that. But one thing that still feels very archaic and shrouded in mystery is family planning and fertility education. We are taught all the tools to prevent pregnancy, but what about when you want to just plan ahead for it?
Well, Modern Fertility is here to help guide you through your family planning. No matter if you want kids today or someday in the future, the information you need to make the best decision for you is now easily accessible with their at-home test. Simply complete the finger prick test, mail it in with a prepaid label, and Modern Fertility takes care of the rest. And I talked about this last time we did a Modern Fertility ad. One of my friends took the test, was able to find out that certain hormone levels were low that could possibly impact her fertility and her egg count. And she was able to then go to a fertility doctor and start discussing what she can do now to help her have the best chance of having children in the future. So
that's amazing.
It can really, really impact your life. So traditionally, tests like this have only been accessible through the doctor's office, and that can cost upwards of $1,000. And Modern Fertility believes that everyone should have easy access to their fertility information, no matter what.
The whole process really is so easy. After sending in your test, you'll receive your personalized results within 10 days. That will provide an in-depth look at everything from egg count to hormone level. Will also signal any potential reproductive red flags like Bekah was talking about. If you want to further review your results and go over options for next steps, Modern Fertility even lets you speak one-on-one with a fertility nurse. And broads, I feel like right now, especially too, this is one of those things where you hear it and you go, oh, I should probably do that because I'm thinking I want to have kids in the future and check if I have any red flags reproductively or whatever. But you just kind of don't have the time and you put it aside. Right now, we're all just sitting around at home. We're here. I feel like this is a good time to check that out because you can also, like I said, it's all online or over the phone where you can review your things and talk to a fertility nurse on the phone. So anywho.
Yeah. And right now, Modern Fertility is going to offer our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/chatty. So that means your test will cost only $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands of dollars it could potentially cost at a doctor's office. So you can get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/chatty. That's modernfertility.com/chatty.
All right. Well, back at the cocktail party before the rose ceremony, Sheridan is spilling the tea about all the couples. He's saying it's Chris and Bree, Danny and Bekah, who we don't know who the hell Danny is, and then Brandon and Savannah. So that's when we find out that like Sheridan's the competition that we thought was his only competition, is now talking with Savannah. And then, yeah, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope. Go ahead. You know we're going to talk about the same thing.
Chris Harrison smoothly comes into the room and he goes with his hands, I kind of feel the gravity in the room tonight. Trevor, are you feeling it?
Trevor, do you feel the gravity in the room?
You know, gravity, like
working against me? Gravity, stay the hell away from me.
I was just like, oh no, Chris. Are we gonna have a pun every? I sure hope so. I need a pun in reference to whatever song they're singing, whatever artist they're covering that week. Well, Trevor, then, balls to the wall, is like in front of the entire group. Says, to be honest, I'm kind of stressed. I focused all my energy on the connection I made with Jamie.
Oh my God.
And I would be super sad to go home today because I don't know where I stand.
Balls to the wall.
In front of everyone. Like, Ryan is just looking at him.
That's a move.
That's a move. You know what? It is a move. It's a bold move. And I think that that was the correct move for him, because Jamie, sweet young Jamie, was just like, oh my God, he's willing to be vulnerable in front of everyone like that. He's
going to put it out there.
He is not afraid to talk about his feelings and express them to everyone. And he's also like, so like tough and brave because he said it in front of my other suitor, Ryan. It was a move. I couldn't believe it. I stopped the show and I was like, wait, is everyone hearing this right now? Is this an editing thing?
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy.
That was wild.
Also in that moment, I noticed that Michael Todd definitely wears lipstick.
Maybe they're just really chapped.
No, it was definitely like a taupe color a little bit.
Show makeup, baby. Stage makeup.
He was going a little hard in the powder and the lipstick for the show, that's for sure. For the cameras.
I love it. Well, speaking of lips, Josh, I guess is his name.
Yes.
Is macking with Julia, and he kind of looks like a bald version of the guy from You.
Yeah, he does. He definitely has kind of that Penn, what's his Penn Badgley? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
What kind of fucking name is that?
He also reminded me, you know that it was a video game and then became a movie, Hitman?
I didn't see it.
Kind of reminded me of that. He's very handsome.
Yeah, he is.
He's very handsome, and Sweet Sheridan is nervous, and at one point he was just like, he's attractive, he's bald. And that was like one of the things that Sheridan.
I'm like, my dude, you have the long luscious locks. Aren't you supposed to be like, what does he have on me? He's bald.
Aren't you wanting to talk about your luscious locks? Like, Sweet Sheridan was just feeling so nervous and insecure.
That he's looming in the background.
He's literally just I wish he would have had one of the huge wide brimmed hats on, and all of a sudden they just see the shadow of a hat come over them. As they're sitting there.
Milady.
Oh, Sheridan's back.
Well, he cuts in very awkwardly, and then he sings her a song that I just found it cringy. That it was one of those moments that we've talked about that we were expecting, where it's like, I would feel very uncomfortable if someone sat me down and started doing that, but to each their own.
Yes.
And you know, I don't want to rag on him too hard because he's our teddy bear Sheridan.
Yeah, we love him.
Our teddy bear Cher.
Teddy bear. Oh, I like that. Teddy bear Cher. Teddy bear Cher. I don't want to rag on him at all because he is sweet. But I felt the same way. I felt very cringe. I'm also very skeptical always whenever a musician is like, I just wrote this song last night thinking about you. I'm like, oh my God, you've had that shit in the bank, locked and loaded for a while. This is a melody you've been working on. Maybe you changed the lyrics up a little bit, but make no mistake, you've had that prepared for a hot minute, okay?
Oh, yes. Well, we get a glimpse
they kiss. So that's nice.
Yes, they do kiss. Well, and then we get a glimpse that like Mel is crying, talking to Gabe just out of sheer emotion. And I don't know where that came from, but it's looking like Matt's plan to circle back in isn't going to be super effective.
Yes, definitely not. And then on top of
to circle back in on Rudy.
Yes. And then on top of that, right before that moment, we had seen Rudy talking about Matt.
But she's just
as she was watching him at the bar, and she was like pretending to like puke, talking about him to other girls.
I'm like, girl, you need to lighten up about the situation.
Yeah, he didn't do you that. He didn't
bygones be bygones.
He didn't do you that dirty. This wasn't like a Blake on Paradise situation where everyone's angry. Like, you know, it was annoying, fine, but you got to let it go. She doesn't let it go because Matt pulls her aside, and girlfriend, he right away is like, you look so good. And then she's like, okay, I'm just going to cut you off so you don't waste your breath. I'm like, this is very dramatic.
Oh, yeah. And she just started laying in. And it was kind of hilarious because at one point he's like, yeah, I do this. Like,
yeah,
I am like that.
was like, well, okay, well, at least he's being honest about it.
All right.
It was uncomfortable. She went in on him really hard. And he then also, he wasn't being rude, but he also like you could tell that he was like, there was that, part of him was kind of like, I'm sorry you feel that way. And I feel like you're misinterpreting what happened and defending himself. And I feel like, he had the right to, because I don't think he said that, but there was definitely a chip that he had. He was not, it wasn't like oh my God, I like her and I'm going to try to convince her otherwise, because I made a mistake. It was kind of like,
no, it was like this desperate, like, I need to have a girl.
Right. It was very much like I'm going to get kicked off the show. And he was like, this girl's crazy. And then goes back to the other guys and is like, I just went like 6 rounds with, I forget who he compared her to, some, monster or something like that. And yeah, it was just kind of a mess, and she's crying.
Yeah, it was. And on one end I'm like, okay, well, I don't think Rudy, I wouldn't necessarily be like, yeah, girl, get him. On the other hand, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I don't know. Both of them I was just kind of feeling meh about, but didn't feel super like had any kind of polarized feelings about either of them. I could do without both.
Same. Very much same.
Yeah.
Well, then there's that moment with Michael and Rudy for a minute where he's singing her, oh, of course, Hot Touch, his song, but this time he's got a guitar.
My God.
Everyone is around him, like, cheering. These people are egging on Michael Todd, and Michael Todd thinks he's the god of the house and doesn't realize that everyone is making fun of him. Like, he has no concept that everyone is making fun of him. He's even like, at one point Rudy bends over, shakes her ass, and her ass like comes out, and Bree is like, oh my God. And Michael Todd thinks that Bree is like giving him a look and is like, yeah. And you're like, no, dude, she made eye contact with Rudy's fabulous ass and is just shook up because of that. It has nothing to do with you or your lipstick.
Michael Todd's like, the ladies are feeling me. I am secured a spot. Let's go.
Good to go.
My God.
Yeah, well, then we have the Jamie Trevor situation. Again, her and Ryan, you see it and you're like, well, I just don't see the chemistry with them.
No.
Yeah, but then
Trevor's like, can I play a song real quick? Also by John Mayer.
Trevor, get out of here. I love it because he
proceeds to play.
He goes, have you heard of that song, Slow Dancing in a Burning Room? And she's just like, yeah.
The irony of this is that I don't think he was aware. No, I actually think they did talk about it, but I don't think it was like he was also trying to pull another John Mayer song out of his ass. This is just the song that he's played for every girl that he's ever slept with since the 10th grade.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
So it just sort of happened that she and Ryan had also been doing a John Mayer song. That Trevor had this one ready for whichever girl caught his fancy.
Again, locked and loaded. It was prepared. You know what all this like what I wanted after seeing all this, the only thing I wanted was to see Ryan play Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. That's all that I wanted after this.
Seriously, that would have actually been, I was unimpressed with Trevor. I was like, this reminds me of that guy in high school that would always go around with his guitar and play Weezer's Sweater Song and do his rendition of that, like, at lunch.
A lot of beach bonfires, lots of beach bonfires, for sure.
And, like, hot, yes. Decent voiced, yes. I mean, there's not much more than though. There's not much more going on.
At the end of the day, he's in a house. I will say, at least from what we've seen so far, he's in a house full of musicians who are a lot more talented at the end of the day. But he had that face on like he knows he's the shit because he is attractive and I'm sure he's gotten a lot of attention. And Katy Perry thinks he's beautiful. And he also probably... He has this mentality that he's going in and he's the veteran because he's already been on American Idol and all these other peasants have not.
So true. And I think he got eliminated like round 2 real quick. Like,
yeah,
sweetie, real quick. Like, I mean, I also think Jamie just knows in her heart that he's not a good guy. I think this is why she's experiencing all this conflict. I don't think she has like a lot. I mean, I think she feels bad for Ryan because she knows he's a good guy. So she feels bad. He took her on the date, all that. But I think she also knows that probably what would be best for her emotionally, relationship-wise, would be Ryan. But, you know.
Yeah, you know, I felt for her in this part, if I'm being honest. Like, you can't help who you've got that burning passion for. And unfortunately, sometimes people try to take the person that they just have burning passion for and make them there forever. And it's like, you know what, Jamie? Trevor's probably...
Wise words.
Thank you. Trevor's probably going to be a person that you guys would have great sex. He'd be a fun hookup. But Ryan's the husband. And, you know, unfortunately, though, you can't force it if you're not, you know, feeling it.
Trevor's also not going to really text you back, and you're going to be justifying with yourself of like, oh, well, he's probably just busy with this and that, and you're just gonna or
he won't text you back 90% of the time, but he'll text back that 10% of the time to give you hope, and so then you stick around and you always initiate the texts, and it's just
and you always justify why he doesn't get back to you. You're like, oh, well, he's probably working on a track right now. You know, his EP's coming out.
You know, when you're in the studio, you have to keep the phone on silent. You really, you know, you keep your head down and you grind, and you don't want to be, you know, influenced by any outside noise right now.
Meanwhile, he's just literally on Bumble or Instagram, and he's just swiping up when he sees your text. Just like clear it from the notifications.
Oh, it hurts in my body. That's some real shit.
That's
I'm feeling like traumatized thinking about past experiences.
You never want to think it's happening to you,
but it does.
You know what? Every single one of us has been on the other end, whether we want to admit it or not. I know.
Oh, that's facts.
I know I've sent nudes to guys who have just swiped up on the notification and kept doing whatever they're doing.
Bekah, that just literally hit me in like a part of my body that hurts so bad. I'm like, oh my God, no, I know. I am literally thinking of the person that I'm like, oh, I know. I sent that nude and it was like, oh, love this. And that was it. And just fully swiped up.
So hot.
Yeah, just like
reply.
Just like
didn't even open it. Did the thing where you can reply to the text without actually opening it and then swiping up.
Just liked the image. Didn't even respond. And you're like, not even a love on the image or an exclamation point on the image. Just the like. Oh, cringe. My body. Oh, man. Well, yes, that is 100% what's going on. And she's freaking out. She doesn't know what to do. We all know what she's going to do, though. I mean, it was no question what was going to happen. And all I know is all that I cared about was like, who was going to, if Ryan goes home week 1, I'm quitting the show because I found the love of my life and I need to see him more. And if you're going to do us dirty like that, like someone save him.
So I was really going back and forth because I was like reasoning with myself. I was like, fuck, I don't remember seeing him in the preview. So like, is he about to go home? Shit. But then I was also like, no, they've got to keep that drama around because she's so torn. So they have to find someone to give Ryan a rose. So I was really just going back and forth in my head like,
yes.
Is he?
Well, they have the rose ceremony. And of course, Chris Harrison's like, ladies, listen to your heart. It's real cringe this season. So Savannah goes with Brandon. I love how they did it, by the way, how the couple has to walk out and then they're guessing which couple is like, so they don't know. I thought that was really fun.
Was weird.
I thought that it was cool.
How they just,
So yeah, Savannah chooses Brandon and we see Julia kind of throw a shady look, which was weird, which made me a little nervous. Like, is Julia still vibing on Brandon a little bit?
Yeah.
And I'm a little nervous for our Cher Bear.
I felt like I knew Julia was going to give Sheridan the rose. Felt like I knew that.
See, I feel like I thought she was going to give Sheridan the rose because Savannah and Brandon are established now. But I'm wondering if Julia didn't get over Brandon just moved on to Savannah. And so then Julia was like, all right, well, I like Sheridan too, so I'm going to go there instead. Because that was a kind of a weird look. It kind of shook her head like she was annoyed at the situation. So I don't know. Made me a little nervous.
Well, I was going to say, what I need to talk about?
Yes.
Is the fact that Trevor was wearing a corduroy jacket with a shearling, I don't know how to say it, shearling, which way do you say it? Shearling?
I say shearling.
A corduroy jacket with a shearling collar at a rose ceremony.
He's the new Jed, my friend. He's the new Jed.
Who does he think he is?
How dare you? Put a little sass into that outfit, bud. Throw on a suit. Come on. Even if it's, one of those, Brandon, I remember, showed up at the beginning of the episode wearing a suit jacket, but it was made out of wool. It was yes. Like, is that a sweater? But it was actually a suit jacket. There was definitely some decisions. There were some choices that people made fashion-wise in this episode. Well, then Mel and Gabe are together. Bekah and Danny again. Who's that? Then Bree and Chris. And then, of course, Matt is like, who's going to choose me? And Cheyenne, who we saw nothing of in this episode, chooses him. That I
also felt like Matt was gonna get I was like, okay, he's got to stick around for the drama too.
Of course, they want the drama. And then Julia and Sheridan, and then Jamie, she chooses Trevor. How dare you? And what I loved is that everyone was so, like you said, everyone really loves Ryan, and everyone was super nervous that he was going to go home because they wanted to keep Ryan around. And then Rudy does us all a solid and chooses Ryan, and she says that she could see herself falling for him. So now I'm like, oh God, are they going to have some romance? But in the preview, we see Ryan in the final performance with a girl that we don't know.
I know, and I kind of hate these previews because I feel like they're giving everything fucking away.
Right? Unless the clip of Ryan, it was another stage. Like maybe there's going to be a couple.
I know.
Stage
that's what I was thinking too, actually. I'm like, this could also be part of like one-on-one dates. Like I don't actually know if these clips that we're seeing are of that like final performance.
Yeah.
I was grappling with the same thing.
Like maybe that woman that he was performing with is some famous artist that we don't recognize, who he's having a performance with, someone who's not even on the show. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I mean, the show's looking exciting because we see a preview and a blondie is showing up and she is coming in for Trevor. And apparently she is friends with Trevor's ex and she is confronting Trevor, and he has lied and cheated and blah, blah, blah. And Jamie's panicking because as we found out at the beginning of this episode, she's been cheated on by every guy she's been with. So here she goes again. And yeah, we see Sheridan and Julia singing and kissing, so hopefully their love blossoms. It looks like Chris and Bree are continuing their love. Yeah, I mean, and then we get a preview of all these artists who are going to be like judging their performances in huge crowds before the Corona times.
Well, also I'm like, what are these Bachelor people doing? Judging their chemistry?
That was kind of that was where I was like, all right, the famous Bachelor couples are judging their performances, and not just say that, like, you obviously are allowed to have a very strong opinion musically if you're not a musician.
Of course, we all listen to music. Like, we can know when something's good or not.
But like, I'm going to be dying if that's what they have the artists there to judge the music, and then they have the successful Bachelor couple to judge whether or not they're going to love.
I really felt the passion.
I can tell.
I can see the connection.
I can tell this relationship truly is going to work for sure. 100%.
Right?
These two, I know I've only seen them for three minutes performing a song. they don't have the forever. You two have the forever.
Yeah, what are they doing here? I can't wait to see.
I'm so excited. I'm hyped on this.
Damn, I'm like actually floored because we got through this recap in 2 hours flat.
Look at us go, baby. We did it.
Well, I'm like, okay, this is a good sign. This is a good sign for this season to come. This isn't like a Love is Blind. We're going to be having 3.5 hour episodes.
That's true. That's
I hope
true.
You guys like those.
Still. Well, speaking
kind of makes me happy.
Speaking of Love is Blind, if you've been following along with our Love is Blind saga, we have been having a lot of fun recapping it. And so Thursday, in 2 days from when you're probably listening to this, we will be recapping our final Love is Blind episode 9 and 10, and chatting about the reunion, episode 11, a little bit. And then that will have our Love is Blind recapping session come to a close. Obviously, then we'll be recapping, continue to recap Listen to Your Heart, dropping those episodes every Tuesday. And then, like Bekah said at the beginning, our Thursday episodes are going to start to include, again, non-reality TV show recap episodes with some guests and some fun topics. So please send us along all of that. And if you like this, 5 stars is always appreciated. A rate and review.
For those of you that are in quarantine, you have nothing better to do. Go smash those 5 stars. It'll take you 5 seconds.
And
Apple
thank you so much to the many of you who have done that already. Oh, also.
What?
I also, Broads, wanted to give a gigantic shout out to our Facebook Broad Squad. So a few of our broads put together a Chatty Broads Facebook group for us.
How can people find the Chatty Broads Facebook?
So I'm going to make sure to link it in. If you go to @Chatty Broads on Instagram, I will put it in our link tree. I'll have a link to the Facebook so you all can attempt to join. Bekah and I do not run this. This Facebook was started and is run by a group of broads, and I want to give them the shout out. Felicia, Alea, Larissa, Jenna, Caitlin. These broads are literally killing it, okay? When you go on
that is so much work to admin a page like that.
It takes a lot of work, and they not only are they adminning it, they are like starting amazing conversations, support groups. Like I'm seeing on our Facebook page so many, especially now during this quarantine, you guys are having Zoom parties. We have different broads who are needing help, and other broads are helping them out. Like it is so touching, and I just wanted to make sure that if anyone doesn't know about it, we will put the link in our Instagram bio so that you can find that. And like I said again, Felicia, Caitlin, Jenna, Larissa, Alea, you broads are doing the Lord's broad work, and we are so grateful for you, and they've touched a lot of people.
It's
and
awesome.
It really means everything, and we love you all. And yeah, definitely check that out if you're not a part of that already.
It's so special to see people connecting like
I know.
that. It's cool.
It's so wonderful. We've also had some broads, and we'll put it on when we know about it. We've had broads who since the quarantine started have done like live stream yoga sessions for the broads, and like different activities and classes.
Gosh, I love that.
And it's so cool to have each other and like be this family. And yeah, I mean, and again, like, you know, Bekah and I have said before, we have, you know, there's a good amount of stuff that we have going on, so we're not necessarily always involved outside as much as we have the opportunity, as much as we want to. But to know that you all through this podcast are connecting and finding each other and finding friends is like the coolest, most emotionally wonderful thing that I can wrap my brain around.
Yes.
And I love it. And
definitely.
So
shout out.
Anywho,
and
we love you all. I can't wait to continue recapping Listen to Your Heart.
I can't either.
It's going to be fun.
So you'll hear us chatting more about it next Tuesday. And then, yeah, Thursday, wrapping up Love is Blind, and off we go.
Broads, Bekah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Chat soon, baby.
Chat soon.